Hello and welcome to Excel Essentials. In this session we'll be covering the RAND and RAND between formulas. So let's have a look at the RAND formula. Now the RAND formula, we have an example of what it looks like. So we can see it has no parameters and no arguments. And what the RAND formula does is it returns a number, a real number, not something like an integer, so a whole number. It returns a decimal value which is greater than or equal to 0 but less than 1. It's a random number every time the worksheet is recalculated, and the way a worksheet can be recalculated is when anyone makes any change. And I'll show you that now. So if we do equals and we type in the RAND formula and then we hit tab, we can also see via the prompt that there are no arguments and no parameters as part of the formula. So we're just going to close the bracket and hit enter. And as you see, we have a value of 0.70336, and it continues on. And it's a decimal value between 0 and 1. Now, if I go and type in random number, now this is a change I'm making, and I hit enter, you can see it's recalculated, and it does it every time you make any change to the spreadsheet. As you see, it's recalculating all the time. So even if I was to remove these random cells, it's recalculated. If you want to, you can generate a random number between two values using the RAND formula. It is a little bit more complicated, but I'll show you how you can do that. So, of course, we have to use the RAND formula. So we'll do equals RAND, and then we'll multiply it by whatever our two values subtracted from each other are. So in this case, we're going to open brackets and do 50 minus 25, because we want to generate a random number between 25 and 50. And then at the end, we need to add the lower number, which in this case is 25. So if we hit enter, we see we've got a value of 31.9. If I do another recalculation, then you see we've got a different value between those two numbers. So it's a little bit more complicated and a little bit longer than just the initial RAND formula, but it can generate the value between two different numbers. You can also get it to generate a random number between 0 and whatever value you want. So if we went between 0 and 50, we would just do equals RAND and then asterisk for times and then 50. And then if you hit enter, we see we've got another value. You can also regenerate and recalculate this in Excel by doing F9, and it will regenerate the values and recalculate everything on the worksheet for you. You can also get it to generate whole numbers as well by using the int formula. So if we do equals int, and then we type in our formula, so we do RAND times 50. Let's get rid of that double A. And then hit enter, we can see we've got a whole number of 26. And if we keep recalculating the workbook, we can see that value keeps changing. Now let's have a look at the RAND between formula. Now the RAND between formula returns a whole number, so an integer, between the numbers that you specify. And if we can see here, you can put in the numbers you specify, and there's two arguments. There's one known as bottom, so it'll be the smallest number that the RAND between value could return, and top, which is the largest number that the RAND between function can return. So that is what the formula looks like. Now, We can put in an example here of doing equals RAND between. And let's use the example we were using with the RAND formula of 25 and 50. So as you see, it's that simple to put it in. And if we hit enter, we've got 50 as the value. Now if we hit F9, you can see it's recalculated into different whole numbers between 25 and 50. You can also use the RAND between formula in conjunction with another formula if you wanted to create, say, a random price or a decimal number of some sort. So let's say the format we want it in is something like this, 299. We can use the RAND between formula and the value formula to help in this scenario. So first of all, let's do the whole number first, which we know can be RAND between, and let's say we want it between 1 and 10, for example. And as you see, we've got that first whole number. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put an ampersand. So if we put an and symbol and open speech marks and put a full stop and close it, we now get that, and it looks like a piece of text now. It's no longer thought of as a number, but we'll sort that out in a moment. If we come back and put another and symbol, we can then do the RAND between again, and we want it to say between 0 and 99 as we want a 2-digit number. And then if we hit enter, we now have 7.95, but if we recalculate, we see it changes. So we're getting different values. Now, if we want this to be recognized as a number, then if I was to do, for example, this times 2, yes, it calculates it, but it doesn't work as an individual number, because if it was a number, it would recognize automatically and be on the right hand side. So just always be safe in your calculations. Where you have a number written as text, you can always wrap it in the value formula. And if you hit F9, we can see it calculate through and create some more. It was just that in that instance, it was a whole number of 9. Stay tuned for more Excel Essentials.